The Unresolved drifted calmly through the quiet stretch of space near Lagrange Point 6, its engines humming like a sleeping giant. For months, the ship had been assigned to long-range survey duty, scanning deep space and responding to faint signals that Earth's automated systems could not identify. Most of the time, those signals were nothing more than fragments of old satellites or broken probes left over from humanity's rapid expansion into the stars. But this time was different. Lieutenant Arya Holt, the Resolve sensor officer, frowned at her screen. A strange reading pulsed through her display, soft, rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. She leaned closer. "Captain," she called across the bridge, her voice steady but urgent. "We're picking up a repeating distress pattern, non-human origin, very weak." Captain Daniel Reyes, a tall man known for his calm authority, turned toward her. "Source? Approximately 2,000 kilometers ahead, matching velocity with us. It's drifting." Reyes stepped forward. Visuals. Arya tapped a sequence of controls. The display in front of the bridge lit up, revealing a large vessel, burned, cracked, and ancient. It resembled a long, curved shell torn open from one side. With faint lights flickering deep inside its broken frame, the bridge fell silent. Commander Jin, standing at Reyes' side, exhaled slowly. "That's no human design. Looks organic. Like it grew rather than being built." Reyes straightened. "Bring us in carefully. I want a full scan." The Resolve adjusted course, thrusters firing in controlled bursts. As they approached, the alien ship looked even more damaged. Sections folded inward. Other parts melted as though burned by intense heat. But despite its scars, it emitted a clear distress signal. Weak, but intentional. Arya swallowed. Life signs detected. Faint, but present. The captain's expression hardened with responsibility. "Prepare a boarding team. If there are survivors, we help them." The boarding team consisted of 5 members: Commander Jin, Arya Holt, Engineer Patel, Medic Sloan, and Security Specialist Rafe Torres. Each stepped into the airlock, suited in lightweight exploration armor. Their helmets hissed shut. Jin activated the channel. "Team ready?" On the bridge, Reyes responded, "Proceed." The outer hatch opened, revealing the alien Ark hanging silently against the stars. Its hull was a deep, shimmering violet, though scraped and cracked in many places. The boarding pod detached from the Resolve and drifted toward the Ark like a small metal seed, approaching a massive wounded beast. As they arrived, magnetic clamps latched onto a relatively stable surface. A circular cutter extended, slicing a clean hole through the hull. Soft hissing sound escaped into the vacuum, followed by stillness. "Atmosphere is thin, but breathable with assistance," Sloan reported. Oxygen traces mixed with unknown gases. They stepped inside. The interior of the alien ship was dim and vast. Long curved walls arched upward like the inside of a rib cage. Strange organic material pulsed faintly beneath the floor, glowing with a greenish light that brightened with each step the humans took, as if reacting to their presence. "Creepy," Patel muttered. "Focus," Jin said. "Arya, you're up. Lead us to the strongest life signs." Arya followed her scanner, guiding them deeper through twisting corridors and collapsed chambers. The ship looked as though it had suffered a devastating internal explosion. Chunks of crystalline structures littered the floor. Faint metallic dust floated in the air. Finally, Arya stopped in front of a sealed door, smooth and silver, marked by 3 glowing symbols. "Inside," she said, "life signs are concentrated here." Torres approached the door panel carefully. No visible controls. "Maybe it's pressure activated," Patel suggested. Torres placed his hand against the panel. Instantly, the symbols brightened. The door folded open in segments, moving like the petals of a mechanical flower. They entered a large chamber with high ceilings and smooth, curved walls. In the center lay several alien forms, tall, vaguely humanoid, and covered in thin layers of shimmering skin that reflected the room's blue light. Most were still and unmoving, but one sat upright. She, or at least the humans assumed female, based on her frame, had pale silver eyes and skin that glowed softly along her chest and arms. Thin tendrils of light pulsed beneath her skin, like veins filled with luminescent water. She turned toward the humans slowly, weakly. Her voice was soft, melodic, layered with tones no human throat could replicate. "Visitors." From the star of blue fire, she said. The humans froze. Sloane stepped forward, hands open. "We're here to help you. We detected your distress signal." The alien studied them silently before nodding. "Help? Yes. Many of us are gone. Only few remain. Can you move?" Jin asked gently. "I can," she replied, though her motions were slow. She pushed herself upright and stood with elegant posture, one hand over a glowing plate upon her chest. The light beneath her skin shifted from pale blue to warm amber. Arya frowned at the scan on her wrist. Her energy levels just spiked slightly. It's like her body reacts to communication. The alien heard it and nodded. "We share by showing," she explained. "Our truth, our memories, our intent, all revealed through the core light." She placed her hand over her chest again. "Here." The humans glanced at each other, unsure of what that meant. "What should we call you?" Jin asked. The alien hesitated, then answered, "Sarenval." Sarenval, Jin repeated respectfully. "What happened to your ship?" Sarenval lifted her gaze, and for a moment her chest plate glowed brighter blue to gold, gold to red.
Outs.
Light patterns rippled outward like waves across water. The room reacted, its walls softly vibrating as if resonating with her memories. Suddenly, the humans saw images floating in the air-light projections born from the core light itself. The alien arc in its prime, soaring through Nib. Led, a proud people made of shimmering flesh and bright eyes. Then darkness, a shadow across the stars. Shapes like molten rock given life. Swarm consuming energy, devouring worlds, chasing the arc endlessly. The images faded, leaving silence. Torres exhaled. That was something. Sarenval lowered her head. "Our arc fled for years. We ran from the Verhax, the devouring swarm. They adapt to every defense. We escaped only by using forbidden energy. It damaged our vessel. Few survived." Verhax, Jin repeated. "We've never heard of them." "You will," Sarenval whispered. "If our beacon reached you, it reached them also." Arya's heart skipped. "Captain Reyes needs to hear this." Jin nodded. "We're taking you back to our ship. Our medical bay can stabilize you." Sarenval took one step, then stopped as her legs wavered. Sloane rushed to support her. The alien woman placed a hand on Sloane's shoulder, gratitude glowing in soft amber, as they escorted her toward the exit. Sarenval spoke softly, her tone weary but honest. "Human travelers. You came when others hid. You answered when others ran. Perhaps your species is different." Torres chuckled dryly. "We get that a lot. Do not mistake my meaning," Sarenval continued. "If the Verhax follow, your courage may be tested beyond what you expect." Jin responded firmly. "If they come, we'll face them." Sarenval looked at him, studying him with glowing silver eyes. "Yes," she said quietly. "I see that you will." They reached the airlock, and the hatch opened to reveal the safe, bright interior of the Resolve. A wave of relief washed over the humans, but Sarenval looked back at her dying arc one last time. Her chest glowed a soft, mournful blue. "My home drifts into the dark," she whispered. Jin placed a steady hand on her arm. "Then let us give you a new one." Sarenval nodded slowly. "Very well, I will share more. When I have strength." The airlock closed behind them. For a brief moment, the humans felt as though they had carried more than a lone survivor aboard their ship. They had carried a warning, a history, and a story written in living light. And somewhere in the silent void beyond Lagrange Point 6,
Oh, wait, something else drifted.
something that had chased the arc across the stars. Something that might now be coming for humanity. The medical bay of the UN's Resolve was quiet except for the soft hum of machinery. Sarenval lay on a diagnostic bed, thin streams of pale light still glowing beneath her skin. Human medical equipment hovered around her, scanning her vitals with gentle precision. Dr. Leela Sloane adjusted a display above the bed. "Her biology is complex," she murmured. "Her tissues conduct energy like circuits, and whatever powers her chest plate. It reacts to emotion." Captain Reyes stood beside her, arms crossed. How stable is she? Sloane sighed. Stable enough. But she's exhausted. Her species seems to burn energy quickly when using their core light. Reyes nodded silently, then looked down at the alien survivor. Sarenvel's eyes were closed, but her breathing was almost musical. She said something's coming, he whispered. The Verhax. Sloane tightened her jaw. Whatever hurt her ship. We're not ready for it. Before Reyes could answer, the lights dimmed and flickered. A low rumble passed through the ship. Reyes straightened. Bridge, report. Arya Holt's voice came through the comm. Captain, we're detecting multiple energy distortions outside the perimeter. They appeared suddenly. No jump signature. Reyes swore under his breath. The Verhax. We don't know yet, sir. But they're closing in. Reyes turned to Sloane. Keep her safe. Then he hurried out of the medical bay. On the bridge, tension filled the air like static. Arya's fingers danced over her controls, pulling up visuals. The main holographic screen flickered danned, then displayed shapes moving through the dark expanse. Not ships. Not asteroids. Something else. Commander Jin stared. What are those? The objects drifted like chunks of molten rock, glowing faintly with internal heat. Their surfaces moved, shifting like living lava. Dozens of them, silent and purposeful, drifting toward the resolve. Arya's voice trembled slightly. They match Sarenvel's projections. It's the Verhax. Reyes stood at the center of the bridge, his tone firm and steady. Raise shields. Prepare railguns. Rafe, Patel defense positions. Alarms sounded throughout the ship. Crew members rushed to stations with trained precision. Torres arrived on the bridge last, helmet under his arm. Are we fighting or running? Reyes didn't hesitate. Both if we have to. First priority is protecting the alien survivor. Torres nodded. Understood. The Verhax moved closer, their glowing cores pulsing in unison, like a single vast heartbeat. Arya zoomed in on one of them. Captain's scan shows they don't have engines. They're drifting, but adjusting course without any visible propulsion. Almost like they're alive, Jin finished. Arya swallowed. Yes. A low thrumming sound echoed as the resolve shields activated, bathing the ship in a faint blue glow. Reyes took a breath. Open a channel. Maybe they communicate. Arya tried. Static. More static. Then silence. No response, she said. I don't think they communicate like we do. Jin shook his head. Sarenvel said they adapt. They learn. Maybe communication isn't their goal. Verhax drew nearer. Then one accelerated. Like a burning meteor, it hurled itself against the resolve shield. A thunderous impact shook the entire ship. Sparks erupted from the ceiling. Arya braced herself against her console. Shield integrity at 93%. Again. Torres barked as another Verhax shape collided with the shield. The hull groaned. The bridge lights flickered. A deep vibration rolled through the resolve, as if something massive had clamped onto its surface. Reyes gritted his teeth. Fire railguns. Aim for the glowing cores. Tell's hands flew across the weapon's console. Railguns firing. A burst of metal slugs shot into space, moving at incredible speed. They struck one of the Verhax creature's dead center. The glowing core cracked, then shattered. The creature crumpled into lifeless debris. Yes, Torres shouted. But the victory was short-lived. The fragments of the destroyed creature melted into dust, drifting harmlessly, until the dust reassembled into another small shape that began drifting toward the resolve. Torres blinked. They regenerate. Arya's face paled. More like reform. They're not biological. They're something else. Rhea's voice hardened. Target the fragments. Burn them. Energy beams swept through the dark, vaporizing the drifting particles. The creature did not reform again. Jin exhaled, so they can be killed. Slowly, but the Verhax swarm was tightening around them. More impacts rattled the ship. The shields flickered dangerously. Arya's console beeped sharply. Captain, something else is happening. Energy drain. You're feeding on our shield emissions. Rhea stared. They're consuming our defenses. Jin grimaced. Just like they consumed Surinval's ark, Doris muttered. Then we're next.
Oh!
Down in the medical bay, Sarenvel awoke suddenly as though pulled from a deep sleep. Her silver eyes glowed. She sensed the Verhax. She sat up sharply, chestplate flickering in distress. Machines beeped in confusion as they tried to interpret her fluctuating energy signature. Sloane rushed to her side. Easy, you're still recovering. No, Sarenvel whispered. The swarm. It follows the oldest call. It feels the Ark's signal, and now your ship's power. They devour light. They devour systems. They come from the dark nebula beyond this region. Swung her legs off the bed, nearly stumbling. Sloane caught her. You can't walk yet. I must, Sarenvel insisted. Your ship cannot fight them without knowing their nature. A deep impact rumbled through the resolve. The walls shivered. Panels rattled. The lights flickered. Sarenvel steadied herself with Sloane's help. Take me to your leaders. Back on the bridge, the battle was turning grim. The Verhawks were testing the Resolve's shield from multiple angles, their glowing cores pulsing with increasing brightness. Arya shouted, "Shields down to 60%. Torres fired again. The railguns roared. But the swarm grew more aggressive, clinging to the shield barrier and draining power faster. Reyes clenched his jaw. We need a new strategy. The bridge door slid open. Sarenvel stepped in with Sloane beside her. Inkta. Chest glowed brighter than before, pale blue and white, pulsing quickly. Reyes turned sharply. You shouldn't be up. Must be, Sarenvel said firmly. Your technology delays the swarm, but does not stop them. Her eyes focused on the holographic screens, showing Verhax impacts. They adapt to your weapons. They taste energy and grow stronger. They learn the frequency of your shields. Jin asked. Then how do we stop them? Sarenvel placed a hand over her chest. My people developed one method. A dangerous one. It weakens the swarm, if only for a moment. The captain stepped forward. Tell us. She inhaled slowly, her chest plate shifting from blue to violet like a storm cloud. The Verhax have a core instinct. They chase the brightest source of energy. If we create a surge-strong, controlled brief, they will pull back to avoid overload. They cannot consume energy that rises faster than they can adapt. Torres frowned. You want us to flash a bigger signal? Won't that attract more? Only if uncontrolled, Sarenvel replied. Your ship has a human reactor. It must be guided. I can guide it. Reyes exchanged a quick look with Jin. Can our systems even connect with her biological interface? Patel answered from his station. We can route energy modulation controls to a secure node. She might be able to influence the waveform. Reyes nodded once. Do it. Sarenvel stepped to the central console. The moment her hand touched the surface, faint light shot across the display. Human tech flickered, then synchronized with her glowing chestplate. Arya stared. She's... The readings are merging. Sarenvel closed her eyes. The lights in her chest shifted into a rapid pattern blue. Gold, white, violet moving like an alien heartbeat. Now, she whispered, push the surge. Patel activated the command. A burst of radiant energy flashed around the resolve, blindingly bright for a split second. Then gone. The Verhax reacted instantly. Their cores flared red as they broke formation and drifted backward. Recoiling from the sudden burst, they're pulling away, Ray exclaimed. Shield stabilizing, Jin added. Drain reduced by 80%. The bridge erupted in relief. Cert Dal opened her eyes slowly. You see, she said weakly. They fear what they cannot consume. Reyes looked at the swarm drifting back into the darkness. We bought ourselves time. But Arya shook her head. Captain. She zoomed in, far beyond the retreating shapes. Something massive stirred, something the size of a city drifting through the dark nebula. A central hive, Verhax Prime. Reyes' face hardened. This isn't over, Sarenvel whispered. It has found you. The Un's resolve floated in silence after the energy surge. The crew stood tense at their stations, staring at the screens that showed the swarm drifting backward into the darkness. They were not defeated, only disturbed. Like predators smelling something new, Arya Holt zoomed in on the far edge of the nebula. Captain, that large signature is still moving. Slow, but steady. The holographic display revealed a shadowed shape, huge and pulsing with deep crimson light. It moved like a drifting mountain, its surface shifting constantly like a living volcano. Torres stepped closer. That's not a ship. Sarenville answered quietly, still catching her breath. It is the Verhax Prime, the center of the swarm. The first core, the source of their hunger. A cold silence filled the bridge. Captain Reyes didn't blink. How big is that thing? It does not have a true size, Sarenville replied. It grows as it consumes. Right now. It is young, Torres snorted. Young. That thing is bigger than our ship by a factor of 50. Sarenville nodded. When it matures, it can envelop moons, Patel muttered. Great. Moon-knitting space rock. Perfect. Reyes stepped forward, voice calm but sharp. Options. Arya exhaled slowly. If it reaches us, Captain, our shields won't last 10 seconds. Jin folded his arms. We can jump out of the system. No, Sarenville said instantly. If you run, it marks your direction. It tracks energy across light years. The moment you use faster-than-light travel, it learns your signature. And it follows, Jin finished grimly. Yes, Sarenville whispered. Always. Reyes rubbed his forehead. So we can't run, we can't hide, and we can't keep blasting energy at it forever. Torres shrugged. What do humans do with predators that don't stop? Reyes answered with a small, dangerous smile. We punch back. Sarenville looked at him with confusion. Punch back? It means, Jin clarified with a thin smile, we hit it hard. Sarenville blinked. The Verhax adapt. They survive fire, radiation, explosions, Reyes cut in. But they've never faced humans. Minutes later, the Resolve's main war room lit up as officers gathered around the central table. A holographic model of the Verhax Prime hovered above it, glowing red like a beating heart. Reyes began the briefing. We know it's coming. We know it adapts. And we know it hunts energy, Patel added. Which means we can use energy as bait, Torres smirked. A trap. Reyes nodded. Exactly. A trap big enough to interest that thing, but not so strong it destroys us. Jin tapped the hologram. What about the smaller ones? The swarm around it. Sarenville stepped forward. The smaller Verhax will follow any energy burst from the Prime. If we distract the Prime, the swarm will pause. They fear drawing too close to it in moments of hunger. Torres raised an eyebrow. So even monsters fear other monsters, not fear. Sarenville corrected softly. Instinct, Reyes spoke again. We have a chance, but we need more firepower than the Resolve alone. Captain, there are automated defense satellites nearby. Old Earth models. Not very strong. Strong enough to help, Reyes said. We link them, overload them, and create a massive energy lure. Jin frowned. You want to blow them? Controlled detonation, Reyes clarified. Enough to bait the Prime. Not enough for it to adapt before we strike. Sarenville studied him with new eyes. Humans. You plan quickly. Reyes smiled slightly. We don't have the luxury of running. Sarenville lowered her gaze, thoughtful. My people ran for centuries. We believed resistance was hopeless. Reyes placed a hand on the table. Everyone runs from something. But humans? We stop eventually. And when we stop, things get ugly for the other side. Torres raised a fist. HFY, Captain, Reyes chuckled. Not now, Rafe. But Sarenville tilted her head. HFY, what does this mean? Jin smiled. It means humanity. He stopped, corrected himself. Humanity. Heck yeah. Sarenville blinked. You celebrate yourselves before battle? Torres grinned. We celebrate that we don't lie down and die. Sarenville placed her hand on her chest plate. It glowed a soft, curious gold. Then perhaps we are more alike than I believed. The Resolve moved toward the Defense Satellite Cluster 6 old metal spheres drifting quietly near a debris cloud. Their solar panels flickered, barely functioning. "Patel status?" Reyes asked. "Connecting now," Patel replied. "These things are ancient. Pre-Colony era. But we can link their power cores. Arya, monitor the swarm." "Already tracking," she said. "The smaller Verhacs are forming a shell around the Prime, moving in rhythm. They're coordinating." Reyes frowned. "Like a shield." Sarenval nodded. "They guard the Prime while it studies your energy signature." Torres cracked his knuckles. "Let it study. We've got homework too." Moments passed as Patel rerouted the satellite cores. Warning lights blinked on the screens. "Power buildup at 20%, he said. 40, 60. 90 ready." Reyes took a breath. Sarenvel, she stepped to a console. Her chest plate glowed brightly as she extended her hand, merging with the modulated system. "I will shape the energy. I will make it irresistible." The lights in her chest swirled in intricate patterns, white gold, pale blue like a living star. "Now," Reyes ordered. Patel triggered the surge. A massive burst of radiant light exploded through the cluster controlled. It spread like a shockwave, washing across the void. Then, everything was silent. For 1 second. Only one. Then the Verhax Prime reacted. Its massive core flared bright red. It turns low at first. Then with increasing speed, toward the energy burst. Arya's heartbeat raced. "It's coming fast." The smaller swarm hesitated, then followed, but stayed behind the Prime, keeping distance. Reyes clenched his jaw. "Perfect. Bring us around. Fire sequence Bravo." Torres slammed his fist on the weapons control. Weapons hot. Railguns aligned. The Resolve's reactors charged. Tau Patel shouted, "Captain!" "The Prime's energy output is rising," Jin finished for him. "It's hungry." Verhax Prime opened. Its molten surface peeling back to reveal a giant glowing core like a sun trapped inside a living shell. Arya gasped. "It's preparing to consume now," Reyes shouted. The Resolve fired everything. Railgun slugs tore through space, aimed at the red center. Heavy plasma bursts followed, then shock charges that crackled with electricity. The Prime absorbed the first impacts, but then something happened. It changed color. Red shifted to violet. Violet to blue. "Blue to white," Sarenvel whispered. "It is adapting." But then the Prime pulsed wrong. It pulsed again. Wrong again. Torres leaned forward. "Captain, the thing's confused." Jin's eyes widened. "It can't adapt fast enough." Patel grinned. "Our energies have mixed human and Cathari waveforms. It doesn't know what to evolve into." Reyes slammed his hand down. "Hit it again." The Resolve fired a second barrage harder, faster, with a combined frequency shaped by Sarenvel. The Prime convulsed. Its molten shell cracked. Fragments of glowing rock burst outward. Arya whispered, "We're hurting it." Torres shouted, "We're winning." The Verhax Prime recoiled, pulling backward into the nebula, flickering violently like a wounded beast trying to retreat. The smaller swarm panicked. Breaking formation for the first time, Jin grinned fiercely. "HFY, indeed." Reyes looked at the cracking monster on the screen, then at his crew. "We don't run," he said quietly. "Not today." Sarenval watched with wide silver eyes, her chest glowing bright and warm. "Humans. You defy fear," Reyes answered. "Fear's only useful until it stops you from fighting." The Verhax Prime drifted deeper into the nebula, retreating, but its light still pulsed with fury. Arya swallowed. "Captain, it's not dead."
Reyes.
Reyes nodded. "No, but now it knows we can hurt it," Sarenvel whispered. "And that terrifies the swarm." The crew looked at the dark nebula. Knowing the battle ahead was far from over, but humanity had just given the galaxy its first answer. Monsters don't get to decide humanity's fate. The Resolve felt strangely quiet after the Verhax Prime retreated. No alarms, no impacts, no shaking hull. Just the soft hum of engines and the low whisper of systems. Recalibrating. But nobody on the ship relaxed. Captain Reyes stood on the bridge with his arms behind his back, staring at the holographic display. It showed the nebula dark, swirling, and full of hiding shadows. The Verhax Prime was somewhere inside it, wounded, but alive, and watching. Arya Holt updated her scans. No movement from the Prime, Captain. The smaller Verhax. They're drifting. Almost like they're confused. Torres crossed his arms. Good. Let them stay confused forever. Sarenvel stood near the main console, her silver eyes studying the readings. Her chest plate glowed a calm blue, but a faint ripple of violet flickered beneath. She was worried, Reyes noticed. You think the Prime is preparing something? Sarenvel nodded slowly. The Verhax do not retreat unless forced. They will adapt. They always adapt. Your strike surprised them, confused them. But they will learn from it, Jin asked. How long until they recover? No one knows, Sarenval said quietly. But not long. Heavy silence settled. Reyes took a breath. Then we use this time well. Torres Patel, Gintha War Room. Sarenvel, I need you with me. The war room lit up as they entered. A large table projected a rotating image of the Verhax Prime. Red cracks pulsed across its surface, damage caused by the Resolve's combined strike. Reyes pointed. We heard it. That means it can be hurt. And if it can be hurt, it can be destroyed. Patel rubbed his chin. But how do we hit it harder? Our weapons barely cracked that thing. Torres leaned back in his chair. Unless we get a bigger ship, bigger guns, or something alien. They all looked at Saran Dashval. The alien woman stepped closer to the table. Her chest glowed a slow golden pattern, thoughtful, serious. My people fought the Verhax for centuries. We failed because they adapted to everything we built. She paused. But there was one thing they never adapted to. Reyes straightened. What's that? Sarenvel placed a hand over her chest. Her core light shimmered, sending gentle waves across the room. Our memories. Patel blinked. Your memories. Sarenval nodded. Our species shares knowledge through our core light. Every memory, every emotion, every action. The Verhax cannot consume it. They cannot adapt to it, because it is not energy that exists outside us. It is energy that comes from within. Jin frowned. How does that help us? Sarenvel's chest glowed brighter, swirling like a small star. Because the Verhax Prime is not a simple predator. It is a hive mind made of shifting patterns. If we can disrupt its pattern, confuse its memory, or overload its instincts, we can weaken it. Reyes stepped forward. And your core light can do that? Sarenvel hesitated. Alone? No. But with your technology, yes. Torres raised an eyebrow. You mean merge with our systems again? More than merge, Sarenvel said softly. I must connect fully to your ship. My core light will guide your weapons, shape your energy, and create a pattern the Verhax cannot understand. She looked down, her voice lowering. It is dangerous. How dangerous? Reyes asked. Sarenvel looked into his eyes. If I push too far, it could destroy me. The room went silent, but Sarenvel stood tall, without fear. Reyes spoke carefully. I won't ask you to risk yourself. She shook her head. I was saved by your courage. Let me return the honor, Torres whispered. HFY Alliance moment. Jin elbowed him. Not the time. But Sarenvel inclined her head, curious. HFY. Again. Reyes smiled slightly. It means we're proud of fighting with everything we have. And right now, we're proud to fight beside you. Her chest glowed a warm gold. They moved to the engineering deck. The great reactor core pulsed beneath thick glass, glowing with human-made energy. Blue rings of light rotated slowly, each one stabilizing the power output. Patel adjusted the control panels. If we connect her core light directly, she'll be able to influence the frequency of our weapons. But the ship's systems weren't built for a living interface, Torres warned. If it overloads, Reyes finished the thought grimly, we lose both her and the ship. Sarenvel stepped forward. Your machines are complex, but predictable. They follow patterns. My core light can match those patterns and shape them. Maria arrived from the bridge, tools in hand. We'll monitor your vitals during the merge. If anything changes, Sarenvel cut her off gently. It will change. That is the purpose. Arya faltered, unsure how to respond. Reyes placed a reassuring hand on the console. We'll be right here. Sarenvel approached the reactor interface. The moment her hand touched the surface, her chest erupted with radiant light, soft but powerful. Blue, violet, gold. White all swirling into a complex pattern. Alarms beeped softly but didn't escalate. Patel monitored the readings. Her energy is syncing with the reactor. Aligning frequencies. This is incredible. Torres watched as the reactor's blue rings shifted color, becoming streaked with faint gold. It looks alive. He whispered, Duress' eyes closed as she concentrated. Her breathing slowed. Her skin shimmered with soft pulses of light that flowed from her chest into her arms. Then into the reactor, Arya tapped another screen. Captain, her bioreadings are stable. Stress levels rising, but not dangerous yet. Reyes nodded. Keep monitoring. Suddenly the ship trembled. Jin's voice crackled over the intercom. Captain, the Verhack swarm is moving again. They're regrouping around the Prime. Reyes clenched his fist. Status of the Prime. It's changing, Jin said. Adapting again, Torres muttered. Here we go. Sarenvel opened her eyes. Light streamed from them like silver fire. We must move quickly. The Prime is remembering your strike. It is forming a new pattern. Reyes stepped forward. What do we need to do? Sarenvel raised both hands, palms glowing. I will show your ship how to unravel its memory. The reactor flared bright gold. Patel shouted, energy levels spiking. Arya monitored vitals. Her pulse is rising, core synchronization increasing fast. Sarenval's voice became layered, echoing through the room. Your weapons must strike as one. Pulse, then echo. Echo, then break. Break the Prime's pattern. Reyes understood. Coordinated bursts. Different frequencies. Rapid shifts. Don't let it adapt, Sarenval whispered. You see the path? The reactor pulsed again this time. The entire ship felt it. Lights on every deck flickered, then steadied in a new rhythm. A human rhythm shaped by alien light. Arya gasped. Captain, the Resolve's entire energy system just shifted into her pattern. Alice? Torres grinned. It feels like she just upgraded the ship. Sarenvel stepped back slowly. Her chest dimmed slightly, showing exhaustion, but her eyes burned with determination. The Verhack's Prime will not understand your new pattern, she said softly. Not at first. You must strike before it learns. Reyes nodded. Prepare weapons. Set charging sequence to her frequency. Patel worked fast. Done. Arya received a new alert. Captain, the Verhack's Prime is moving again. Faster this time. Reyes straightened. Then we go meet it. Sarenvel touched the glowing console one last time. Humanity and Cathari. We share light. Together we are stronger. Reyes replied softly. Let's prove it. The Resolve turned toward the nebula. Its engines glowed with a new golden-white hue. Its weapons pulsed with alien synchronized rhythm. The crew felt that the entire ship had become something new, something more. Arya called out from the bridge, her voice steady. Captain, the Prime is emerging. Screen filled with red light. The Verhack's Prime drifted out of the nebula like a living mountain. Cracked, furious, and hungry, Reyes stood tall, ready to strike. Sarenvel stood beside him, her chest glowing brightly. The Resolve charged forward into the darkness, and the galaxy prepared for a battle no one had ever seen. The Resolve raced through the nebula like a spark pushed by destiny. Its hull glowed with pale gold light, Talion and human energy, now fused into one rhythm. Every system hummed with strange new power. Captain Reyes stood on the bridge, calm but focused. His crew watched the red shape ahead grow larger and larger on the screen. The Verhack's Prime, the ancient predator, moved with cold purpose, dragging behind it a cloud of red dust and broken debris. Its surface still showed long cracks from the Resolves. Earlier strike-jagged wounds glowing like angry embers. Arya reported, Captain, It's charging again. Energy building fast. Torres cursed under his breath. They learn way too fast, Jin added, but we learn faster. Serenval stepped forward. Her chest glowed softly, like a star taking a slow breath. Your ship has changed. You must trust its rhythm now. Do not fear the new energy. Let it guide you. Reyes nodded. We trust you. The alien woman placed a hand on the console. Then listen. The prime's pattern is shifting. It is confused, but it will recover. You have one chance. Strike before adaptation. Reyes raised his voice. Weapons charged to pattern sync. Patel replied, charging. Lights across the bridge dimmed. Ship filled with a soft humming pulse, steady heartbeat-like. The prime opened its maw. Red lightning flashed inside. Arya shouted, Captain! It's firing! Evasive! Reyes ordered. The Resolve shot upward, engines screaming, as a beam of red energy cut through the nebula where they had been seconds before. Jin whistled. That would have erased us. Stay sharp, Reyes warned. It's testing us. Serenval narrowed her eyes. No, it's remembering you. The Resolve's new energy pattern gave it speed none of the crew had ever felt before. It danced through the nebula like a living creature slipping between red projectiles, dodging bursts of crimson flame. The Prime roared in frustration, its body shifting, growing new plates of armor with every second. Arya gasped. It's rewriting itself. Serenval shook her head. Then you must strike now. Reyes lowered his voice. Everyone ready? Torres grinned, ready to kick some cosmic monster. Patel straightened. All weapons synced. Arya's voice grew steady. Target locked. Reyes pointed forward. Then fire. The Resolve released its full power. Golden white energy shot from the cannons in rapid bursts pulse. Echo, break exactly in the pattern Serenval had taught them. The blasts moved like a rhythm, each one confusing the Prime's adaptive skin. The first hit landed on a red plate. The plate flickered, then shattered. The second hit struck deeper, cutting through the Prime's armor like a blade of light. The third pulse hit the center wound from earlier, the large crack the Resolve had created during their first battle. The Prime howled, a sound like twisting metal and roaring avalanches. Arya shouted, We did it! We broke through! But Torres wasn't smiling. The Prime isn't done. And he was right. The Verhax Prime gathered its entire being, shaping its red energy into a single devastating attack. Its whole body glowed like a dying star ready to explode. Sir? Unval's chest pulsed urgently. Captain, that attack will destroy everything in the nebula, even your ship. Reyes clenched his fists. What do we do? Serenval stepped forward. The only way to stop the Prime is to break its mind. Patel frowned. How do we do that? Serenval's eyes glowed silver. With a memory it cannot adapt to. She placed her hand on the console again. The golden light from her chest flowed into the ship, spreading through every panel and cable like liquid fire. The Resolve trembled. Arya called out, her energy level is rising too fast. Patel warned, if she pushes more, her core could collapse. Reyes gripped Serenval's arm gently. There must be another way. She looked up at him. Your people saved me when I had nothing left. Let me return this gift. Reyes shook his head. Not by losing you. Her chest glowed warm gold. If I fall protecting the light of your species, it is not loss. It is honor.
Ow!
The bridge fell silent. Then Serenval turned forward, her eyes full of determination. I will share the one memory the Verhax cannot adapt to. A bright wave surged across the ship. The golden energy poured into the weapons like a river. Torres blinked. What memory? Serenval whispered. Hope. The Verhax Prime unleashed its attack, a colossal surge of red power that tore the nebula apart. Dust clouds evaporated. Small asteroids melted into vapor. The Resolve flew straight toward it. Captain, Arya cried. We can't outrun that blast. Reyes didn't flinch. We're not running. He looked at Serenval, ready. Her chest burned like a star. Patel shouted, weapons overloaded, firing in 5 seconds. The crew braced. Jin whispered a small prayer. Torres tightened his grip on the control seat. Reyes exhaled slowly. Serenval closed her eyes. sharing the last of her core light with the ship. The Resolve released its final strike. A brilliant beam of gold and white erupted forward, pure and sharp. But inside the light was something strange, something powerful. Patterns of hope, connection, unity. The memory of a species that refused to give up. The memory of humans in Ketharay standing together. The golden beam ripped through the red blast. The entire nebula lit up like a sunrise. The Verhax Prime screamed, its body twitching violently. The golden light struck its mind, disrupting every pattern inside it. Not by brute force, but by meaning. As Surinval had said, the Prime could adapt to weapons, but not to emotion, not to hope. The red energy collapsed. Armor crumbled. The Prime's shape twisted, failing to rebuild. Rhea shouted, "Direct hit." Arya stared in awe. "Look, it's breaking apart." Torres pumped a fist. "HFY," Jin whooped. "HFY times 2. The Verhax Prime cracked down the middle. Its body dissolved into dust and scattered through the nebula, fading into quiet darkness. The galactic predator that had terrified systems for centuries was gone. The Resolve floated in silence. Arya scanned the area. The Prime is gone. All Verhax signatures. Fading. They're falling apart now that the hive mind broke. Torres leaned back. "We actually did it." Patel let out a long breath. "Can't believe we're still alive." Reyes turned to Surendash-Vel. She was on her knees, chest dim, breath slow. "Surenval." Reyes rushed to her side and steadied her. "Stay with me." Her eyes opened weakly, shining with fading silver light. "The Prime is gone. Your people are safe. You saved us," Reyes whispered. "But you're hurt." She shook her head softly. "This is normal, a core light. Cannot give so much without resting." "Rest then," Arya said gently. "We'll take care of you." Sir Enval smiled faintly. "Your species shares too. Not through light, but through courage." Reyes held her hand. "We share through loyalty. We standing by each other." Her chest glowed softly, tired but alive. A warm light. A hopeful light. Hours later, the Resolve left the nebula. Stars shone bright ahead, a reminder that danger was gone and peace could begin again. Torres leaned back at his station. "Captain, we need a name for what we did today." Jin suggested Operation Star Punch. Arya frowned. "Please no," Patel laughed. "How about the Hope Strike?" Reyes looked at Sarenval, resting peacefully in a medical chair beside him. He nodded. "Yes, the Hope Strike." The bridge grew quiet, filled with a sense of victory and unity. Humanity and Cathari, two species whose strengths had joined at the perfect moment. Reyes placed a hand on Sarenval's shoulder. "Let's go home." The Resolve flew into the stars, carrying the light that defeated darkness together. The end.